Okay, in this video, we're going to extend upon the previous video on algebraic expressions and talk about what it means to evaluate an expression. Okay, now that you can think of this as plugging in. So you might be given an algebraic expression like 2x squared plus y, and then they ask you to evaluate it, but they're going to tell you what x is equal to and what y is equal to. Okay, so if they're asking you to evaluate an expression, usually they'll tell you the value of these variables. So 4, and let's call y 7. Why not, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rewrite this expression, but then instead of x, what am I going to put? I'm going to put 4. And what was happening to that x? It was being squared. So the 4 now is being squared plus y, which is 7, okay? So this step right here is what we call plugging in, right? We just plugged in the values for the variables. And now we just do out the math following the order of operations. We do the 4 squared first, so that's 2 times 16 plus 7. We do multiplication before addition, so 2 times 16 gives me 32, plus 7 would give me 39. Let's try another one right here. Kind of block it off. We'll make it a little bit more complex. 3x, y, z over q plus x. Okay, now I'm going to tell you here that x equals 3, y equals 5, z equals 7, and q is 10. So what would be our first step? We need to plug in the values that were given for all these different variables, x, y, z. Now before we do that, let's just remember what's happening here. 3x, y, z, that means all these things are being multiplied together. 3 times x times y times z, and we're dividing it all by q, and then we'll add x, okay? So when we rewrite this, we need to be thinking about that, right? Because I'm going to say, well, this is 3 times what? X is 3. Right, this was x. I'll put it tiny up there just so we can track it. What was y? 7. Nope, 5. Right? Sometimes you make silly mistakes like that. Z is 7. All divided by 10. Plus, what's x? 3. Okay. Let's think about this real quick. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. And then 45 times 7, let's do that over here. 35. 28 plus 3, so 315. When I multiply 3 times 3 times 5 times 7, we get 315 over 10 plus 3. Okay. Can we do this? Dividing by 10, right? What happens to a number when we divide by 10? We move the decimal one spot over. So 315, the decimal point's here. Now it's going to move one spot over. We get 31.5 plus 3, which is just equal to 34.5. Okay? This was a rather short video, but I don't want to over-explain, right? If we're asked to evaluate an algebraic expression, we want to simplify it as much as we can, like in the last video, right? And then we're going to go through and plug in the values that they tell us, right? They tell me what x is equal to, so I'm going to replace it. They tell me what y is equal to, okay? And at that point, we just follow the order of operations. So I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.